Don't get snippy with me. Howdy gang, welcome to another Bad Players WoW Vlog Snippet. I'm Daniel Gagne, Rialto's Kill Dog, Bad Player 03. Today I'm going to wrap up my series on the Bad Players lore raid model that I developed with the final point I want to illustrate about it, and then my wrap-up message on where to go from here. So anyways, let's get started. So why, in the Bad Players lore rating model, did I choose to leave 10 and 25-man heroics totally alone? Well, the axioms come to mind is leave well enough alone, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I haven't seen a lot of issues or complaints or fussing between the 25-man heroic guilds and the 10-man heroic guilds. They seem to be both going about their business, having a good time. Of course, the 10-man heroics was changed dramatically by Dream Paragon deciding to drop from 25 to a 10-man guild, and obviously that gave a whole new scope to that side of things. So really, both of them are very viable, exciting races, and both should be treated as such because heroic raiders are still the class of World of Warcraft and should be treated with respect because they help to bring fame and some prestige to the overall game of World of Warcraft, make it special and unique as an MMO in the fact that people get to be almost WoW heroes in World of Warcraft, and that's pretty cool. Also, now you have Dream Paragon doing 10-man heroic, and many other guilds that you maybe once did 25-man have switched over to 10-man. Can you imagine going to them and saying, "Well, thanks for doing that, guys. It's cool that you decided to change the way you were going, but now we're going to make you second-class citizens. We're going to go back to the way it was in Wrath of the Lich King and lower that 10-man regular tremendously down below the 25-man heroic, give you less gear, prestige, and everything, and say thanks for coming out." That doesn't sound very nice. That sounds like an awfully rude thing to do after making them equal, enticing, and creating the situation where it's perfectly viable to do either 10-man heroic or 25-man heroic, and then go and pull the carpet out from under them. That just can't happen. That just seems totally wrong. Secondly, if one of the big goals of World of Warcraft is to have more people rise to the level of heroic raider, to be the best of the best, to consume the highest level of content that Blizzard puts so much work into, then why should we try to control which direction they prefer and feel most comfortable with? Some people are comfortable in big, large groups and love the excitement and the variety and the just the variety of personalities, and other people love the personal touch of 10-man. They love a more manageable team size. They can get the best of the best players rather than having a range of players as you would have in a lot of 25-man structures. Why would you want to push one away and let the other one reign supreme to that level? It just doesn't seem like a practical way to encourage people to become heroic raiders. Also, don't forget in my model that even though we're going to give a beautiful title, mount, opportunity to mount, and probably some nice vanity items, pets, and that sort of thing, maybe to both 10-man and 25-man heroic raiders, we're going to give the slightly better versions of all those to the 25-man raider, like in Wrath of the Lich King, the Light of Dawn title versus the Bane of the Fallen King title, with Light of Dawn being the best of the best, to still promote the 25-man heroic raider as the king of the hill, a little bit higher than the average, so that maybe even the best 10-man guild that just cleans house in 10-man heroic may still eventually want to get together with somebody else and maybe run some 25-man heroic just to say they got that final highest title before the end of the tier. And I think that's a good thing. More 25-man exposure is I think good and healthy for WoW in general. So now finally, the other big reason is that back in Wrath of the Lich King, 10-man and 25-man heroic raiders were able to run both 10 and 25-man heroic at the same time if they really wanted to, and you know how heroic raiders are. Especially world first heroic raiders. With the competition being so fierce, you were basically forcing every single one of those guys to run both every week for the gear progression until long after the world first charts had been sorted out, and that just seems ugly, messy, unfair to treat your best players in the entire game so bad as to make them overrun themselves to that level. Really, why should a 10-man heroic raider be running 25-man at the same time and vice versa? Why not allow them to focus, do the content that they prefer to do, and get it completed, get their title, maybe do a little farming, and if they really want to, they have the option of going later on and doing the other type of content. But don't force them to do both at the same time. And as I said, that's just the way heroic rating works, and the competition involved is that if you make it possible, you're going to force them. So really, why would you want to mess with 25 and 10 man heroic rating? Leave them alone. They're good. They're gold. They're sunshine. So yeah, my model doesn't touch 10 and 25 man heroic rating at all. Roughly the same skill level, identical gear, basically a choice, but you got to make a choice, 10 or 25 man, because once you run one, you cannot consider pursuing the other in the same week anyways, and really who raids one and the other, off weeks? That just seems a little bit tough, a little bit awkward of a concept. I mean, even for the rarest of World of Warcraft raider. So anyways, that is my final aspect I wanted to highlight of my model. So now that we've gone through all the steps of the bad player's lore rating model, both presenting the model, showing it from a perspective of all the different paths of raiders that may go through the model, and then going through and highlighting the importance of every single component and piece of the model, where do we go from there? What happens next? So now we need to look back, look deep into, and reflect on what is the bad player's lore rating model and ask ourselves, is this the best, perfect rating model for World of Warcraft? Is it the one we want, or is it not? And if it isn't, let me know where it falls short. I'm open to suggestion possibilities. I'm just hoping I was able to help to get people on the right lines of thinking for what maybe rating should be in WoW. However, if you agree with me that this model is the right one to have in WoW and that we should pursue it, promote it, and adopt it in World of Warcraft, what's the way to make that happen? Well, the key is to remember that you are the World of Warcraft community. You have the power. You can help shape World of Warcraft to whatever you want the game to be, and it all starts through our community managers, our lead system designer, Greg Street, and of course now we have a new representative in lore. So if you really feel that the bad player's lore raid model is what you want to see in WoW going forward, ask for it by name. Present it, or ask for it by name from guys like Ghostcrawler, Greg Street, like Zarheim and Bashiok, and of course Lore, because he's soon going to be on the job, and he's going to be one of the guys responsible for taking our suggestions, bringing them to Blizzard, and then coming back with feedback and that sort of thing. So if you want to see the bad player's lore raid model, you got to speak up. You got to ask for it by name, and you got to say, this is what I think World of Warcraft should be going forward. Want to see it next patch, next expansion, wherever, but this is the way we believe World of Warcraft rating should be, and we want to see this, because if enough people come forward and say that this is what they want, it's going to happen. That's the way the game works, is that the community helps dictate what they want to see. Blizzard looks at what the community says and really deeply wants, and of course looks at what's doable and all that as well, and they basically put that all together into the game of World of Warcraft as it changes from patch and expansion to expansion. However, they're not going to ignore the community, who are all crying for one particular thing forever, unless it's just impossible, not in any way practical, or if they really deeply feel that the community is asking for something that is not within their best interests. For the most part, if you ask for it enough, it will be done. So that's what I encourage you to do. If you love the bad players lore raid models as much as I do, keep asking for it, and maybe come next expansion, that's exactly what we'll see. So anyways, thanks a lot for coming along with me on this journey through the bad players lore raid model I developed, looking at every aspect of it with me, and I hope you did. It's all on my YouTube channel, Bad Player 03, all there for you to view, scrutinize, leave comments, subscribe, anything you want. And of course, subscribing means you're going to be able to get access to a lot of my other content coming out in the future, being the first ones at it, and I'd love to have you on board. Yeah, so you've been with me this whole ride. I hope it's been educational, informative, interesting, and I hope that I was able to win your hearts over the way the model that I created has won my heart over, and that you agree with me that this is the way World of Warcraft should be. So anyways, thanks for following this particular series of the Bad Players WoW Vlog Snippets. Once again, I'm Daniel Gagne, Rialto's Kill Dog, Bad Player 03. You can follow me and communicate with me on Twitter. I always love Twitter, Bad Player 03, capital B, capital P, account under Daniel Gagne. My YouTube channel, Bad Player 03. lots of videos, lots of room for comments and such. And you can email me at badplayer03, once again, capital B, capital P, at gmail.com. Always, always yours to command. Give me feedback, give me information, guide me. Let me know when I suck, or let me know when I have an idea you really like. And I'm just going to, if you're willing, I will keep it coming and look forward to entertaining you and hearing your comments in the future. Thanks. Love you all. And you take care. Bye now.